Hi, this is Les Halmus reporting from the NMRA 75th Anniversary Convention in Milwaukee. I'm at the Fremo layout here with Tim Moran and Mike Slater. They're going to talk to us about what Fremo is, where it differs from other layouts, and why is it this high. So I'll ask Mike to start up with that.
Sure. Fremo is more for the operating aspect of the layout. That's one of the reasons for the 50-inch rail height of the layout. Unlike other layouts where you'll see at shows they'll form more of the circle or rectangular format, Fremo is a free running layout where it emphasizes more on operations from point to point, point to loop, or loop to loop type operations.
Mike, tell me about the difference between Fremo and Fremo in Europe.
Fremo is very similar to the operations as Fremo. Unlike Fremo, their rails go all the way to the edge of the module end, where Fremo goes 1 inch from the outside edge of the module.
That means that your interface, is it similar interface? In other words, if there were some Europeans here, could you still hook up to them?
We would have to have an adapter module from Fremo to Fremo just because of the rail joint and end plate pin configurations they have.
If I understand correctly, your interface is 6 by 24 with the main line in the center?
That is correct.
And a 2-inch if you have a double main line, right?
Correct.
Okay, what do you prefer? Do you think Fremo is it a main line, single main line, or dual main line?
It varies different aspects upon the modeler trying to model the prototypical operations of the layout or the scene that they're trying to model from a prototype scenario, either being a double track main line or a single track main line railroad, which we have both in this display.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is it's easier to model the prototype this way than if you have a 3-track racetrack around the
That is
area.
correct.
And as I look around, I see that the modules are not necessarily ergonomically placed. They're going all over the place, eh?
That is correct. It's the one advantage about Fremo, or Fremo, depending if you're in Europe, is that you can arrange the modules to fit the space that you are at. You're not confined, again, to the basic rectangle or L-shaped type layouts.
So the important thing actually is the interface, right?
Correct.
Okay, well that's great. That gives us a good idea of what we're talking about here. I'm going to ask Tim a few technical questions to see how much stuff you really have here, and it's amazing.
Yes.
Okay. Tim.
Yes, sir.
Okay, first of all, how many modules do you have here?
We have 53 module sets with a total of 108 pieces.
Oh boy, 108 pieces.
Right.
Is that right? And it's all hooked up together and it works just...
Everybody's having a good time running the trains.
And you were talking about how many states are involved in this setup. They're not all from the same group, right?
Right. We have modelers from 7 different states, ranging from Kansas to Massachusetts.
No Canadians, eh?
Canadians came down, but they didn't bring any toys with them.
Ah, well, that's too bad. So, what about, technically speaking, did you have any problems setting up, or did the standards make it that it's fairly easy to do?
The standards made it easy to do. The places that we had any hiccups were where the modelers weren't quite up to standards, and then we had to make the adjustments to get it up to standard.
Okay, well, looking at it, I think if a modeler is interested in starting off a layout, this might be a good deal for him. If he hasn't got a home layout or he doesn't belong to a club, he can make a module up and then participate in any Fremo setup. Is that correct?
Exactly. The other thing is it gives you a place to practice your skills, especially like in scenery and things like that. You can practice. If you don't like the results, you can start over.
Well, we at MRH call that a chainsaw module. You build it and then you put the chainsaw in it.
Exactly. space that we got from the convention was 110 by 40. We were able to put a little over 340 feet of main line, not including the 2 branch lines, into this space. Total trackage, I think, is right around 500, 520 feet.
Well, that's great. I mean, how do you keep track of all this? How did the operators find their way around?
We had signs produced from another member who wasn't able to come, and he generously donated them so we could put them on the sides of each module. We have several track plans around the area so people can kind of keep track of where they're at.
Well, guys, thanks very much for your information, Mike, Tim, and hope to see you again. We'll probably be seeing another one of these setups in Sacramento.
I would imagine so.
Okay,
California folks.
Cool. Well, this is Les Halmas signing off from the NMRA 75th Anniversary Convention in Milwaukee.